and welcome to episode 6 of SlummerTV. This is the official Neon Divide podcast. I am your host, Skiz, and I'm joined today by 4 lovely cast members. We've got Soma, who plays Corporal Jonathan.
Lieutenant
now. Sorry.
Keep changing.
Keep ranking up.
Oh.
Then we've got DarthQuackers, who plays Conrad.
Hello.
We've got TheStaven playing Nyx.
Hello.
And of course, Zabson playing Rhapsodia. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep.
Heck
you have to say it 3 times fast.
Just cut out the first I if you're going to do that.
So before we get into anything else, can we get a quick overview of your characters because again, we have, over 150 different characters. Most people may, if someone doesn't watch The Upper City, they may have never even seen some of your characters before. So, starting with you, Soma, would you like to talk about Lieutenant Jonathan?
Yeah, so Lieutenant Jonathan was Corporal Jonathan. He was just like one of those regular Shimetsu bots that started off. He was actually one of the security guards in the Trident Gala. Something happened that I ended up back in Shimetsu anyways. But essentially, as time passed on, Didus decided to stick a power crystal in me to basically create the new up-and-coming Beowulfs, which is where this model basically came from. As time went down, Jonathan's just been basically Craver's right-hand man. Of course, Craver died, so now he's the one running security for Shimetsu now.
Well, I'm sure we'll definitely get into that. So, Quackers, tell us about Conrad
Yes.
Ludovic.
Well, he first started off as a news reporter for Trident, trying to get his head around, trying to get to meet new people, try to get all the latest scoops. And then all of a sudden, all these crazy events kept on happening, and he's become much more important, made big contracts, defended his own corporation to the point where he's become head of operations of the Hellion Division.
Heck yeah.
Pretty chill guy. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
it
biased.
seems pretty chill. Also, let me just say, I absolutely love the glow up that he's had from season 2 to season 3. It is very, very good look.
Thank you.
And then, so TheStaven, what is Nyx all about?
Hello. Nyx in title is the threat analyst for the Valkyrie Corporation. And in essence, he handles all of the social dirty work. So the big things that he does is like the corporate contracts. That's kind of like what he's kind of used as a cover. But in reality, he's the one that's setting up all of the, evil intentions that the corporation does. For example, and we can get into it, the GU deal that he did. He might have snuck something evil in that we can get into. but basically,
there we go.
He's the embodiment of social manipulation and all that jazz to try and, I guess, give the corp characters a little bit more of a corp feel. So he's someone that's very much stepped on people to get to where he is, and he's very okay with that.
All right.
That's what I like to hear.
That sounds like it'll be fun. And then, Zabson, tell us about Rhapsodia.
Rhapsodia is an alien from a recently discovered planet called Tonos. He is an Icarod, which is an adaptation of a race I've made for more fantastical stuff, but to fit Neon Divine, I altered it. Basically, they are almost embodiments of sound. They are incredibly sensitive to vibration, sound, all that kind of stuff, and they can. The way that they speak is through vibrations of the skin. They can replicate sounds, and it's how I speak in character. That's why I don't have any visemes.
Just about to point that out. Yeah.
Yes. As for what I do, last season Rhapsodia came in as just an emissary, an ambassador from Tonos. And then partially because I was the only union character in the upper city at the time.
It's happened.
Coming back, I was more or less offered the governor of the Outer Ring position.
And so the Outer Ring would specifically be that's not like talking about a galactic Outer Ring. That's talking about the Outer Ring of the city. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it is all 32 districts that are not corporation owned.
Gotcha.
Basically in the Outer Ring.
Which are, Ro is part of and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right. So right off the bat, I know that we have a couple of things that a couple of different people want to talk about. I think a lot of us are very interested to know what's going on at Shimetsu because of how closed doors everything is.
Yeah. What would you like to know? I guess.
You know, bombs explode with better pressure in closed rooms, right? We'll see how this goes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so Shimetsu honestly has had it rough since the start because we were our galactic CEO called us like episode 1 and said like, "Where's my daughter?" Which was season 2, Miss Ikaruga. She was the PR of Shimetsu, and she disappeared off planet because we kind of like figured out that she was not who she was.
She had like a whole secret identity thing going on, right?
Yeah.
Where she was, yeah. With
So
yeah.
So he our galactic CEO, which Shimetsu has 5. He basically said, "Well, you guys are all now CEOs, and you need to find someone that's related to these pirates, and bring them over here because I want to talk to them." So we've been kind of like having to deal with that, and our stocks were going down because we were getting paid at that high lifestyle. So we had to do like budget cuts, actual real budget cuts, lifestyle changes, and then there was the firing.
To put it one way, firing.
So we're talking about the literal firing, right?
Yeah, the literal firing.
Oh, we'll get to that.
But other than that, it's like I think like the only like real bad thing that we thought about like really doing against all of the corporations was putting a hit out on everyone, except for Conrad and Ricky.
You know it. But I got hit anyways, so that was fun.
Incidentally, the only 2 that I've heard about getting shot.
That got hit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there was Miss Money.
Oh yeah. Miss Money did
Yeah.
get shot or shot at. I'm not sure if she was actually hit or not, but
And that happened the session that I called in that meeting too. So it's like they didn't even know beforehand.
Well, we do have some clips that we'll get to after we kind of do some initial discussion, but because you've had you've had 2 characters die from Shimetsu in as many episodes. I don't believe you had anyone die this last episode. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, this last episode.
We
No.
hope.
No. Yeah. Two of them were technically planned.
Yeah, technically planned deaths, but story-wise...
Story-wise, that was the end of their characters' arc.
Yeah. Which I do think is kind of an interesting thing, how that will... someone will say, okay, I'm ready to retire this character. Let's, I want to because either they're, they've got other things going on, or they just are ready to, they feel like their characters completed their arcs that they had going on and they're ready to move on to something new. And then just how much like extra stuff ends up happening with that. Like you think, okay, I'm just retiring my character. It's just going to be affecting me. And instead you have a situation where you've got Jonathan fighting, 2 Beowulfs and the incinerator, just because it's like, it's hard to not, accidentally cross that out of character. Like, oh, but, it shouldn't be causing this. In reality, it just, that's how it happens. The whole RP is meant to be very everything just kind of fits together and stuff happens,
Interwoven.
and you just have to react to it.
Yeah,
It was
it's
crazy.
amazing. It's amazing how sometimes one character can affect so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That would be
That-
my point, is anytime that you think that, oh, this just affects me, in the weirdest of ways, it affects like at least 3 other people, typically from other maps too. And
Yeah.
especially for us corporate characters, because all our
Mhm.
stuff trickles down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is also kind of an interesting thing that I've been realizing about the upper city is that so much of the upper city is kind of like discussion and like planning about what goes on in the other maps, and then just also reacting to what's going on down there at the same time. And to some extent, I mean, you need. I couldn't imagine doing that myself. All the boardroom RP feels like it takes a lot of energy out of some of y'all sometimes. It's just
Man,
At
Thing
the
I
very
like to
least,
point
half the
out,
time
yeah.
it takes so long. It's just
Yeah.
long.
yeah,
Don't
Nyx
even
gave
get me
us a
started on
run
that.
for our money last session, honestly. That was
mean,
supposed to be like a 20-minute meeting at most.
Yeah, like
Oh, I
like
came
one thing I
ready.
like to point out is that I kind of try to put this in character because Conrad was putting all this stuff and trying to get the narrative going, and I'm trying to RP that he's actually getting tired from all this stuff.
yeah.
And that's why the last episode happened.
Mm.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Conrad Ludovic's day off.
Oh God. So it was kind of a joke at first because I was like, okay, Conrad needs 15 minutes. That's not a meeting. The episode before that, before the day off, I was trying so hard for him to get 15 minutes of a break. Never got it. And so I'm like, we're in the Trident meeting before the whole thing, figuring out Trident's plan is when we're like, Mr. Reynolds was just like, y'all just want to have the day off? Max is already having a day off, Conrad, why don't we have a day off? So I did that, robbed a dropship, entered the Wasteland race, and went in the row for some drinks. It was fun.
I mean, you got to respect that. Like, it is kind of just wild how you got to, in character, just take a break sometimes from all the meeting RP. Just relax, get to do some ridiculous, silly shit posting, and have a good time. Like,
You got to come by Valkyrie more. That's like our motto.
Yeah.
We've had 3 breaks, like excursions to do things, and we've
Yeah.
started something every time.
See, that's what we need to do. Like, what's hilarious about or what's cool about these breaks in general, right? When you see corporate characters actually have breaks, you get to see a different side of them. That's not their business side. That's what Conrad kind of lost when Craver went out, because Craver was one of his only people that he actually talked to personally.
like had an actual outside of work relationship of like friendship kind of thing with, or
Yeah,
yeah.
they pretty much basically died for each other. They both like lazed for each other's efforts, and so that kind of grew. And then once I was gone, I'm like, I'm gonna have to branch off in this path.
Well, I mean, speaking of relationships with
Yep.
Craver, yeah.
Yeah,
Back to
one of my dads.
Shimetsu.
Yeah.
Because I know like Jonathan's like since then been struggling with the whole awakening, possibly, like dealing with the
Yeah.
emotions of losing, this very close
It's
friend.
always crazy how usually synthetic sentience is led to anger or depression.
Yeah.
When the worst part about it was when we found out how Craver died through the Union. Like we didn't even
So
know.
so walk a noob like me through this, because I'm very little knowledge on all of this. Like, paint me the spark notes, if you wouldn't mind.
Of like the
Craver
whole.
dying, how you
Oh,
found out,
right.
how that affected you,
So
because I love the synth
I could
RP.
talk about the first part.
Mhm.
So, Conrad was told by Craver that he had to do an honor duel with his sister because he thought it was the Shimetsu way of doing things. He's the one that was always, loyal and, honorable. And so he did that. And then what happened is that the sister got the better role, and so he fell down first. Then some stuff happened, some
Fell
stuff happened,
down.
and then, it was noted that he was dead. By Union told Shimetsu, and then Shimetsu knocked on Craver's door, and then all of a sudden I was there. That was
Yeah,
awkward.
very awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
so-
went
Trident
to
knew first.
Trident knew. Yep,
Yeah.
Trident knew first.
that was the other crazy
Good.
part.
Y'all
Yeah.
should.
Well, it's because Trident put a tracker on him or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Conrad was good friends with him, so he's like, Tracker, if this tracker goes off, we'll start something new.
I'm coming to get you.
Quote unquote.
It was a vitals thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So when we found out that Craver died, and Conrad just flat out told us, it's like I sat there because like I prepared myself all week out of character. I was just like, man, I lost a father because Craver and Jonathan have been always with each other from season 2, from the whole entire uh, like we've been in so many firefights before the execution of Vonto and a whole bunch of things. I've seen Craver almost die plenty of times.
Yep.
And I just couldn't believe that he's actually dead this time. And I've seen him last before. I mean,
He was the sheriff.
yeah. So I couldn't believe it. And then, of course, the letter that Craver left for me is, he accepted my sentience. He said, he always saw me as a son, and he left me his last name, rank, and position in the company. So now I go by Lieutenant Jonathan Carabas now. So, but it's been a crazy thing about it is that when I went to go try to find out what really happened, I either wanted vengeance or, accept that Craver decided to go out the way he wanted to. It's better for him to go out how he wanted to than versus dying in a random alley, gunned down by a random slumber.
Yep.
Feels like the whole
So-
Shimetsu honor thing, yeah.
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 But then the worst part about that is that I had to now play the face of Craver abandoned us. We need to get our shit together because our
Mhm.
stocks have been going low.
Yep.
I mean, hey, at
And-
least that's one less CEO to pay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
5
It's
CEOs?
because you got a hit to your stocks as to why you asked us about it, and then we told you,
Yeah.
not Craver specifically, but one of your
One of
your
our
guys
employees.
died.
Yeah. But
Ooh.
yeah, that was the crazy thing about it. So now it's like Jonathan's now been going through this whole entire thing of he's seeing that maybe talking to people isn't the way. It's more of getting action done, which is why we've taken certain actions that we've done now. So,
Hey,
The
that feels
hard
very
light
Craver. Yeah.
Beowulf giant ass mech is finally taking action. I am for it.
Yep.
Sign me up. Yeah, I like how you describe yourself as this casual mech, and it's like, no, you're part
Yeah.
of like HTR units. Like
Yeah.
your very being
And-
is just scary to everyone in any sense.
Yeah, anytime I went to the row or anything, they're like, "Man, why is this giant war machine down here?" And I'm just like, "Man, I'm just big chilling." But no, it's like anytime Craver wanted to do anything drastic or whatever, I would always try to talk him down from it. But now, like being in his position or anything like that, I see it's like, no, the easiest answer now is to yell, scream, punch someone, or put a bullet in them.
Yep.
My man.
Being head of security is hard.
Yeah,
It might be the easiest, but that doesn't mean it's the correct answer.
Mhm.
right.
But a
Okay,
synth awakened to
philosophical
sentience.
guru.
You gotta figure it out. You'll learn whether this is the way you like doing it, or or not.
Yeah.
I absolutely. I mean, Steven was mentioning it a little bit ago. Like, I love the whole synth RP, like the awakening to sentience. Figuring out, okay, well, now that I have the ability to personally make decisions, what do I do with that? The whole synth stuff is so much fun, and I really like that we have a lot more synth characters exploring that this season.
Oh yeah, and especially with what Mai's doing
Yeah,
with them.
Mm.
yeah. All the stuff with the synth graveyard and everything. and now this mysterious AI and everything. But that is, I think, a topic for another day.
Yep.
So, what has been going on primarily over at like Valkyrie? Because I know that y'all have like some mining operations going on. I don't know how much player interaction is involved in that or not.
Y'all sponsored a race last episode. That was
Yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
I was about to ask, do you want the business side of Valkyrie or do you want the Nyx's fun little adventure side of Valkyrie? Because both are very different answers.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I suppose let's start off with the business. Other than obviously manufacturing weapons. I know that y'all have been selling an awful lot of stuff to Masaru with all of their
Oh my god.
their constantly expanding ranks that always need new weapons for all of their intrigue in the Undercity. But what's been going on other than all the weapons deals with Masaru?
So it's funny because as a weapons corporation, we get a kind of like stockpile per day that we're allowed to sell. And Masaru drains us dry almost every single episode. They show up with at least 6 people daily, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna need this armor and this weapon and this." And
They are
Yeah.
regularly rolling around in probably the largest group.
Oh yeah,
and
and then they add a new character each episode. It seems like
yep, and
they're
it's
very good at that.
obvious they're pulling them from the slums. So it's
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
always an interesting thing about being like, "Well, you guys are our preferred customers, so of course we'll sell you weapons." And then Nyx keeps mentioning to Calliope, he's like, "You guys doing all right in the Undercity, or is there something we should worry about?" But no. So the business side of Valkyrie is actually, at least in my opinion, pretty impressive on what we've been able to accomplish. So besides your general deals with the majority of corporations, we've reached a point where we're actually pushing Shimetsu out of the market.
Ah,
Our current goal, and this kind of was teased in the last meeting with Shimetsu. Nyx kind of
Yeah.
put his foot down.
Yeah,
Um,
that sanction, huh?
yeah, so that's changing a little bit just because I as the player don't really know how that works out.
Yeah.
But the way it's been explained to me is since we're just such obvious competitors in this market, we're
yeah.
slowly starting to work our way deeper into all the other corporations' pockets. And it's starting to turn into this, well, have you seen what's being done with the Shimetsu equipment? Well, you don't need to worry yourself with that. Come get ours. And it's this kind of like lure of just pulling people in deeper
Mm.
into
Sowing
you
the right
need
rumors
our
and yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
One of my biggest philosophies for Nyx, as kind of like a schemer, if you will, is his goal is to just slowly build up those relationships with as many people as possible, and then he's going to start pulling on those favors. And that's what
yeah.
I've been able to reach that tipping point now, and it's so cool to see.
Finally able to catch in those favors, huh?
Yep,
Cheers to
playing the
that.
long con. Yeah. But business
Never owe
side,
favors.
we went to the volcano. That was one of the first things we did. We got that operation up and running. We worked a deal with Traverse. It's cool hearing it from the Wastelanders, but they've been like, "Oh yeah, we see ships flying overhead all the time." And out of character, I'm always chuckling because I'm like, "Yeah, that's us. We have Traverse shipping back and forth constant materials." And that plays into our shadow run that we've got going on. We're going to be sabotaging and stealing some blueprints from Shimetsu, and that's going to lead
Ah,
to a lot of our newer equipment, like this big boy right here, on top of some other things. And all of that's just kind of spiraling into this concept of we're just trying to be the better, I guess, like weapon corporation, the bigger dog.
yeah.
Um,
I
and
mean,
then that
because Shimetsu and Valkyrie are very clearly the only direct competitors between all the corporations. Like everyone else kind of is alone in their own field, but very
Yep.
clearly you got this built-in, antagonistic RP with each other, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, I've been trying to play that up as much as possible because I know a lot of the Shimetsu players, and they're just absolutely great. So it leads for a lot of fun. Like I get to make some kind of underhanded comment, and then it's always interesting to see how they respond, or seeing the dirty looks that they're giving me, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
note to self: extra armor tomorrow. Uh, watch back several times.
Yeah, we try
That's
we
how
try
it goes. You
we
have to
try to
get used
keep
to it.
the comments to a minimum, but we do give the dirty looks all the time.
Oh, I
Mm.
try to get them to slip up all the
Yeah.
time because I'm very open with my trash talking, because I do it
Yeah.
very subtly but very very obvious, and it's interesting to see, especially like Noodle, who plays Phil. He always wants to say something, but he never does. He's so good at keeping his calm, and I'll get him one day. I'll get him.
Yeah. You actually got me real good.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the Beowulfs things where I said like I personally handled those things. Like I was getting like in character very angry because I was just like, are you really questioning me? I
Yep.
took on 2 of these HTR units.
Yep. Yeah. So I guess on that note, because that's a pretty big business element. There's been this whole situation with the Undercity that the corporate characters are kind of learning of. First, there's this thought that there's nukes in the Undercity, and then now we've come to learn that it's Beowulfs, and it's constantly spiraled, and it's just kind of your usual between map telephone game that goes on.
That episode so much because I was down in the Undercity meeting with what is it, Conk and the others, just talking about what the hell they're doing, right? And all of a sudden I hear about this nuke situation from his heart, and I'm like, oh. All of a sudden I hear like, what are you talking about? Nuke situation. Then Conrad sees like the unmarked bill was like walking by. He knowing the whole nuke situation from talking to Craver a ton, or what, not nukes, but the crystal thing being in the Beowulfs, and he's like, "Oh, I'm fine." Then all of a sudden, I'm hearing all these astral teams and everything go down. I'm like, "No, I was just having a chill time. Like, nothing's wrong over here."
Also in that episode, I was down there
Yeah.
as you know. Yeah, we
Yeah, we
had
were down there.
we had a little talk.
Yeah.
I had heard at one point that it was a little strange, but at the very least, Beowulfs were threatening corporate people, and they could and or would explode and take out the entirety of the Undercity and the row with it.
Oh, I love
part was hilarious.
Sylvia was going around telling people that it was going to completely blow
Mhm.
up, and then make the row collapse, and then kill everyone in there too.
I mean,
Yeah.
the
Um,
Undercity has blown up how many times throughout the
So
various
many
seasons?
times.
Like
Too many.
this isn't this isn't a just
This
false
isn't
alarm.
new at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, yes. So we heard about that, and then after the session, I heard from Musaru, the Musaru players. They asked me, "Do you know that the Undercity has nukes?" I said yes, thinking that was an over exaggeration. I later found out that they were actually told nukes.
They were actually told nukes.
Yep.
That's what we got told once when it was passed up the chain. Yeah.
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 It's that big game of telephone because it's like we were going off from the season 2 things about the Beowulfs, like the power crystals. They were
Yeah.
highly volatile, radioactive, literally will level an area. So it's
Yep.
like 3 of them going off, especially like mine. Mine is like way bigger than the
Yeah,
basic.
I've heard that
Beowulfs.
you can take out a city block.
Yeah, well, I mean that's been nerfed now, thank God, but it will take out a lot. The Beowulfs now implode because it's like the thing is like the blueprints are very secretive. So
For
if
now.
they for now, you know,
Yeah.
So
But,
they
We're working
destroy
on that.
themselves kind of thing more than the area
yeah,
around
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
to get rid of all the technology and everything like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Yeah.
that's where that whole entire debacle of nukes in the Undercity, because we were making it very clear that if we go down, because I was ready to take them on right then and there, but Fenris knew the whole entire thing because he found out in season 2 anyways. So it's like he knew the moment if we blow up, that fire district is probably gone.
Yeah, I was in character, like trying to go deliver the little list of demands, because someone was like on the broadcast shortly before that, like saying, "Hey, I have a list of demands." I know Zabson, I think, came up while I was doing that.
I believe that was unrelated, though. I believe.
Yeah, it was completely unrelated.
It was totally
yeah.
unrelated.
I was just I was gonna take that list of demands to Fenris because he was like, in my character's mind, very obvious, representative to go talk to whoever this was, and he's there like trying to mediate between these three Beowulfs and just saying no, leave, like potential explosion, like just leave. It just that whole that whole episode was just so stressful because it was like constant thing after thing after thing going on in the undersea, and then like Conrad just casually comes down in his ship, and I'm like, "What is this? I need to get out of here."
Yes, I have to say that was the worst timing ever with that announcement going on, and then the Trident ship going down. I'm like, they're gonna get such a bad idea about this. They're gonna think it's us.
Yeah.
So, that episode, I heard about the Kraken, the bombs, Trident coming down. There was another ship at some point. I think that was Astral. There's a bunch of stuff going on, and since I played the leader of the Coven last season before he died, I was laughing to myself and saying, "It never changes. It hasn't changed at all. It hasn't changed."
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I had to deal with so much shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, now you're dealing with very different shit. Like, what's been going on with the Union? Like,
So, we've mostly been trying to deal with Masaru in the Undercity. I would say that's the biggest thing that we've been trying to deal with over the past 10 episodes at this point.
Deal with is very generous.
I mean, at one point they
polite.
did because of Trident. Like we had that meeting.
mediate, let's say.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, mediate.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that meeting. Okay, I thought you were talking about that's last episode when we wanted to talk to you, but you were on break.
Yeah,
but
on break.
That one wasn't as much dealing with as opposed to being given a list of demands.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
but,
luckily, that is kind of the corporations with the Union. It's just kind of a what do you don't have any say in this. Like, just here's what we want you to do, Union.
We're trying our best.
It's like the Reynolds saying of we know what is it? We own you or whatever. We own you.
Yeah. More or less.
How does that play out? The Galactic Union with the other corporations. Like, have you experienced that much where we just roll over you guys?
First off, we are cautious to make any moves in the in case any of the corporations say no, stop that.
Yep. You got to be careful.
The corporations have
lie about it.
Yeah, the corporations have the authority to basically slap us and say stop that.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have the ability to make laws. I found that out in like episode 4 or 5.
Wow.
Like, we can make laws. However, we all know that we need to be careful. We need to be very careful, because especially if it looks like we're targeting a corporation, that's not going to be good on us.
Yeah, they kind of like got to secretly make laws that do what you want them to do, but without really letting the corporations know. Well, we're doing this specific law to deal with this particular issue.
Yeah, and we have it is in our it is in our that's not the words I want to say, but we should have corporation backing if possible for whatever we do.
All I'll say is, like, now that you know that, Conrad's stance. He wants more order.
I think you should be more aggressive with the laws.
Yeah,
honestly, like let a corporation get a little mad at you. That'd be great, RP.
Yes, but in character, I'm very non-confrontational.
Fair. Very.
Yeah, I am. Rhapsodia, Tonos is peaceful, at least as far as he knows. Like, it's almost a utopia, really, as far as the character knows. Yeah, so like, he hasn't had reason to argue a lot in general. So,
well, there's room for him to realize what he's got to do, or perhaps he finds a way to make that work.
Or maybe you'll catch on to the things that we're doing in order to maybe somewhat use and abuse the GU. But I mean, who would do that?
Or use the law.
What the fuck did you do, man?
So it hasn't been done yet.
You still haven't sent the guy.
Oh, about that.
Okay.
Do you know who
Oh.
we're sending?
No.
Okay, so for context, the GU naturally comes to Valkyrie, the superior weapon corp, asking
I mean,
for
we can't
guns.
afford those guys.
Yeah,
Well,
you
of
can't
course,
afford us.
they're too pricey.
Yeah.
We're much more reliable in more ways than one.
Oh.
So we work out a weapon deal, and in it, one of the clauses that I work in there is that we need to send one of our technicians to check the records of the GU. And the reasoning I give him is that it's to make sure that there's, no PR outbreak, that we can be able to tell corporations this is the reason we're gearing up the GU, right? This is why we're actually giving them weapons, so no one can get mad at us. The real reason is I want to get Kuiper there to plant a
boy.
back door in your guys' system, which has been agreed to. So I'm just working on getting a little bit of time from Kuiper. Kuiper.
Oh boy.
I always get the name wrong.
Pepper. Yeah.
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 The great thing is that that's going to be so much easier on them. Because I am terrible in character. I'm terrible with cybersecurity.
Yep.
Let's go.
Because one of the things we've
Espionage.
noticed is that the GU is very active in the row and the Undercity. And so one of the things we wanted to leverage is, well, they make friends, and well, they get info. I want to find some way to kind of siphon that and see what we can learn.
Ooh.
So
Makes sense. Makes
Well,
sense.
we'll
Yeah,
see
we
how
gotta-
that goes.
First, you got to get your person to finally come to us.
There's too many things to take care of. We literally go through like 6 meetings in like rapid fire. Like
You
I
know
keep it.
Yep.
But on that point, so boardroom RP, some people find very boring, and so naturally the solution to that is keep it as condensed as possible or as humorous as possible, and
That's what I love
also
doing.
learn when to say no.
Yep.
So for example,
That is one of the largest things to learn.
so at Valkyrie, our CEO is Luca Gray, played by Chair Handler, who is also the DM. So he has to pop kind of in and out. And the nice thing about that is Nyx has kind of taken that as a way to act more powerful than he really is. He often says, "Oh, I speak on behalf of the CEO." That's not true at all. That's just a complete lie. But he's been able to do enough good in Luca's eyes that Luca hasn't said anything yet. And so because of that, I kind of get away with a little bit more. But the flip side of that is I also take the majority of the Valk players and we go off on little excursions like all the time. So the last one was meeting up actually it was so cool seeing Conrad down there. We went to the
Yeah.
wasteland.
We hung out and just got drinks, cactus juice, and raced.
Yep. So we went down to hop into the wasteland street race, if you will, and we sponsored it as Valk because that's totally in our image, right? Just having monster trucks barreling down the canyon, and then after, and I felt kind of bad for this, but after winning the race that I just sponsored, I tried taking the majority of people to the Oasis run by Jagal.
I mean, I didn't feel bad about it. He didn't expect to win, and Conrad got a lot of money out of the cameras and the recording. So he's just like,
Yep.
"All cheers to this! I got money out of it. I don't care."
Yep. Got to follow up with you because we got to turn it into like a death race type of TV show. That's on the agenda.
Well, I
Yep.
mean, I know they're continuing more races in
Yep.
in the future episodes. In fact, actually,
it's
because I know
next-ish.
we have a clip from Foxeldor's perspective,
Ooh.
who was running the race.
He did a great job at that too.
Yeah.
Race
That was
commentating,
such
is it?
such
Yes, the race commentating clip.
I also put a link to
Can
a
we
clip as
possibly
well,
pull that up.
which was fun.
Do we have the clip of that that meme of Comrade
Yep.
boosting
I-
past
I-
70?
I
Oh
linked
my
it.
god,
I
that was
linked
so-
it.
Don't
I
worry,
linked
we'll
it.
get
I
to
linked
that.
it.
We'll get to
Okay.
that.
I'll shut
Don't
up.
worry.
Oh, that was. I had to watch that like 6 times. It was just too good.
Oh yeah.
If we can get the race commentating clip set up, that'd be great. If not, we can go through the order that we've got them lined up already. Yes, no.
I mean, I can just keep explaining while Tech gets that going, because I know that might take a second.
Yeah.
That volcano.
But that, oh my gosh, the volcano.
Yeah.
We had a shadow run done against us actually that kind of
really?
related to the volcano that the slummers did. I think it was more the undercity peeps, but it was so great because that went successfully, which I mean obviously sucks for Valk. But then immediately after that, not even 5-10 minutes later, one of the other excursions that Valkyrie went on was to the Undercity to go get drinks. This was like episode 8 or maybe 7. And we actually talked to Flint Cross, who was on the raid against Valkyrie right afterwards, and he's completely normal, plays this cool, just chats it up, and then out of character after session explains kind of the silliness that happens, and I go, "You're telling me that you just straight up to my face were kind and polite after you just stabbed me in the back?"
That's just Nomad. That's Nomad in
Nomad's
general.
great.
I immediately was like, "Let me shake your hand. That's so
He is
corporate
my
of you. That's
MVP for this season.
well done, well done."
By the way, we do have the clip on standby.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Coming around the third circle. Seems like the Romantic is taking the lead once again, but it's overtaken by the Black Monster truck. They are trying to get into each other's garage very badly, while the Borikistan Merchant is seemingly taking a little bit of a backstand. Ooh, Romantic going for the air, but does not manage to outrun the Monster truck boost. Seems to be a stable lead right now, so even. Oh god, the Merchant makes a crash in the wall. Coming up on the second lap, I see already. Black Monster Trucks making its way for the last circle. The race is neck and neck now. Coming around the third.
That race was so fun.
That's great.
So the Black Monster truck is myself, and I've got Torvik, our combat medic, in the passenger seat, and we were just boosting our way through the entire race. And our main competition was actually Dash from the medic in the row, but he was using his regular old bike, which is fast but doesn't have a boost. And so every time he'd get ahead of me, I felt so bad. I'd just find an opportunity to just boost past him.
So, from my understanding, he was actually, because he doesn't have like a vehicle for that. That's actually his avatar.
Correct.
He was saying later that he was specifically kind of trying to play it a little bit more fair, because ultimately, if you just have a person just with the control stick on their controller, controlling rather than having to actually drive a car, it's a little bit of an advantage. So I know he was kind of taking turns a little bit wider, but even then it was still very close, which I absolutely love. Like there was actually some deliberation at the very end about like, okay, we need to figure out, that was so close, we need to actually figure out who won this.
Yep.
Between you guys, which, I mean, that's great. That's exactly what you want. You don't want it to be like, way too easy for one person or anything. So I thought that worked out great.
He had some excellent like racing moments where he would go up like along, there's like a bunch of like ship parts that are like leaned up against the canyon, and he's riding along it. And I remember like being in my vehicle, looking over, like trying to gauge myself on this guy and just take off when we get the straightaway. Yeah. I'm sad we don't have a clip of it, but every time there was any like boost spot that was like a ramp, I would hit it with full boost and just go flying.
Yep.
And I'd scared my combat medic so badly every time. He'd always be like, "I can't see where we're going. Are we?" And then just we land and just keep going.
It was funny being in the vehicle with Rachel because Connor is like, I'm a safe driver. And he says that sarcastically, of course.
Didn't you crash like several times? I mean,
Yeah.
we all did.
We all did. But yeah. First
Yeah,
off, that was
I
like
think
my
one of those
second time
crashes
using
in
one of
there
those
was actually
vehicles.
Conrad. Oh yeah,
And
they are.
what
They're
is
a
it?
little tricky.
Yeah, like ever. So
Yeah, I might have had a slight advantage because at the last NCN, Cyman, the developer, and I decided to take the vehicle and join up with the majority of the people who were um, underground in the Grove area under the wasteland. So we were working a very large vehicle down the sand pit through the caverns, and then we jumped off the mushroom to land in the back mushroom
Just doing
in the
some
like
handling
mushroom
training
grove.
sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was an accomplishment, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is kind of one of those things that, like, if you ever get a time out of character to just practice those cars, it's a great help because they don't drive like a normal car. They're hover cars. They kind of are a little bit more slidey than you might think
They
otherwise.
drift so
Yeah,
well.
they drift so much.
Oh my gosh.
once it got to like the second, like to last lap, I was totally getting the hang of it. And I was starting to catch up around the end. But yeah, it was just, I
Yeah.
didn't expect to win. I didn't in character either. I was like, I'm not expecting to win this at all. I'm doing this last minute. So
I didn't want to win either, but I got into the just driver mode and just
you just
Mad
get into
Max.
it.
Yeah.
Put on the F-Zero music and you just.
Yeah.
Also, I like that addition of the music that they added on the map. Just like, you got this really calm, scrap town music, and then suddenly just this really intense electronic. I hope that that's still there if like ever someone needs to go down that not in a race. And they're just like, oh, here, come down this, this canyon with me, and we'll talk in private down here.
I would
And then-
panic.
and then
Why
suddenly
is
the music-
boss music playing?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, I would love that. But but yeah, I'm looking forward to more because I know this was technically the row race, and then I know next session they're doing it again with a bunch of Undercity people, and then I don't know if after that they're doing the like finale race or if it's just going to be a scrap town race or what. But I know they've got more races planned, and I'm excited to see where that
They
goes.
wanted me to do what is it, losers bracket throughout the next days, and I'm like, this is my day off. I'm not gonna get a day like this ever again.
telling you, man, come by Valkyrie, we'll make it happen.
I would if I could, but I am not able.
And to tease a little bit more of those races to come, I have some plans for them. Not just your typical races.
All right.
I want to get a little bit of corporate influence going
Heck
on in
yeah,
there. I want
I'm
to see
excited for that.
what fun event because I since Nyx is technically in the lead with that race bracket, I want to kind of pivot and turn these races into like a
Death race.
beat that corp kind of a thing.
Oh,
'Cause
I see what you're saying.
One
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
my things I've been trying to drum up more is utilizing the power of the corporate characters to create more story and drama for the characters in the other maps. Because that's kind of what our function is, right? All right. It's a gross overstatement to just say we're the bad guys, but let's play into that a little bit, right? Like let's get
the whole
that
thing
going.
of you don't have to be. Here's the thing I keep on talking about to people: to be an antagonist just for like the day as a corporation, you don't have to do an evil thing. You don't have to shoot someone. You don't have to, imprison someone or kidnap someone. It could just be being an antagonist for a day.
Mhm.
I mean, plus, just even the fact that we've got these characters that are like, oh yeah, it's my day off. I'll just come win a race. Like that's like
Yeah.
you got this poor burrito guy who's like gotten sponsored by Ryder's Garage to come down here.
He
and,
looks so good too.
Yeah,
His outfit clean,
Yeah.
his driving style clean, and I felt so bad.
that he gets
But
last.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
He has
he
a
got
comeback
last, I
arc.
believe.
Yep.
He got last? Oh,
Yeah, he
did.
got last.
He got
yeah.
last.
Yeah. I
Sevens,
overpassed
man.
him around the end. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like that's all you need to do sometimes. Is just be some guy who's just like, oh yeah, why not? I'll join a race.
Yep.
whatever, that's fine. And then ends up beating him.
Well, me
People that were
joining was
prepared.
very.
Oh, well, yeah. But
I came down the episode before and I had a whole thing about kind of working my way into the
Mhm.
councilman's pockets, right? So I had a
Yeah.
whole long talk after the arena match. I slowly wanted to try and get our presence known because out of the 3 maps, the Wasteland isn't just anti-corp. They just don't want anything to do with anybody. They're very much the look, we're self-sufficient. Y'all
I'll
could
say
they want to be
though,
neutral. Yeah.
get ready for
bugger
something.
and die kind of a thing.
Because I
Yeah.
saw the way you were doing it, I was talking to Mountain Man. I'm like, ooh, let's
Yep.
see how this goes.
Now I'm sponsoring their races. I'm gonna bring in Trident to film them. There might be a little spiciness to it, maybe some extra, rewards or potential punishments. I got a bit planned. It should be fun.
I'm waiting to see like the new dropship system, like some like Valkyrie dropship with like full of soldiers, like trying to gun down someone that they're targeting.
Slow down, all right. Slow down.
This is what I want. This is what I want.
I have an
I
idea.
like the way you're
Is
thinking.
there a way that
though.
we can somehow fit a car, one of the cars, in one of the drop ships to make it launch off? It's possible. It's actually
my gosh.
possible.
Oh my gosh, we
It
can
might
drop a
actually be
vehicle
possible.
onto
Yeah.
and just create another racer. Okay. Well, because one of the things about the racing, since it's in that whole canyon, is they'll occasionally be bandits shooting at you. So at the last lap of this race, there was some bandits shooting, and unfortunately that didn't pan out too well because we're boost maniacs and we just go flying through anyways. But I want to play a little bit more with that too. I feel like there's room for more sabotage.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
a little bit more wacky races, sort of
A
thing.
little more red line, if you've ever seen that.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Well,
kind of
don't
why.
get too excited.
Hello.
No, please don't crush
Listen,
me.
that's one of my favorite movies.
That's
Good, right? That's what I want
I
to
want
aspire
to somehow
to.
there be an arc of the Wastelanders doing a shadow run, but hear this. It's in mid city, just so they could have a race in the mid city, and the corporates are trying to sabotage them any way they
love the way
can
you
during that
think.
race.
I love the way you
Robo
think.
World. Robo World.
So
Yeah,
so actually on that point, and I find it very interesting because a lot of corporate characters have this mentality of business happens in the upper city, boardroom, yada yada, and then when
Mhm.
they catch a break, maybe they can do something fun. But in reality, even our off time, right? Even when we're off goofing off, if you will, from the perspective of like let's say, a row character or an undercity
Let's
character.
make something fun for the people that are
It
there.
starts something, right? Because the idea is just merely putting corporate presence on other maps kind of gets people a little worried or gets them on edge, or
Very much so.
it's so much fun to play with.
Yep.
Speaking on the topic of corporate characters in the in other maps
no.
getting people stressed
boy.
out, we do have a clip of a certain situation in a certain incinerator.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So because I know that this was
Yeah.
Stop right there.
and this I believe is Elusive's
Damn well you're fucking
point of
right
view.
now.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
There are no less than 4 personnel outside of your armed reach capable of a kill shot at this time.
Skull, I need you.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Explain yourself at this time.
May I make an inquiry as to who the fuck are you and why I care?
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I
Yeah.
love that clip.
Yeah. That.
When you see 6 different DM screens of different pings and you
Yeah.
hear a DM muted saying, "Other DM, I need you. Oh fuck. Oh fuck." Like
Yeah.
something's going down.
Yeah. That went 0 to 100 real fast.
no
Yeah.
kidding.
Because I went to the Undercity because I just left the Wasteland, dropping off a special gift for one of our good compatriots. I went to the Undercity to go drop off armor for one of our mercenaries, and during that time, because the Undercity expected Masaru to come down and storm the Undercity, they had certain areas blocked off. So I had to go through the fire district. And right then and there, as I'm walking, I'm seeing the person, Jackal, the ex-Shometsu synthetic, and Monty on her knees, and she's being dragged to the incinerator.
Oh boy.
And I knew it was a planned death, but I was like, I can't overlook this. So, and then I went stealth, followed him all the way down, and then of course the two Beowulfs unstealth. Almost the whole Undercity resistance stops him too, and it's just like, oh fuck, well, time to make a presence.
It was played so well. And talk about the ripple effect. How impressive is that the Undercity is reacting to a different corporation's move on trying to storm them, that they set up barricades that cause you to have to divert where you go, which leads you down the path in order to find people doing something that you didn't even think you would be a part of. And
Yep.
all of that just plays into this one scene.
That is one of the things I love the most about this role play. There are so many people, you can't truly predict what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, especially because like there's even more layers to it. Like the two Beowulfs had these they were secretly from Traverse because of because the
Blaine.
CEO. Well, yeah, because Blaine did
Mofo.
this whole thing, and then like you've got they're they've got these secret orders to be killing things that we as the Resistance don't know about, and then it's just.
Which only causes more trouble for you guys as we find out. Oh, it's so good.
And for the record, so one of those pings that Elusive was getting there was me, because at that same time I was finding the list of demands that we were talking about earlier. I was over there with Zabson, like.
Do we know who that was from? Was it from Traverse?
No, I out of character. That was Zori's character, just trying to get information about what's going on down in the Undercity, and doing it in a way that stresses everyone out a lot more than they need to. But I mean, but ultimately, they got the information that they were looking for, so it works, I guess. But yeah, like there's just so much going on at any time. And again, you have no idea what to expect. You go in thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be I've got this planned, and then something that a character did last season suddenly comes and bites you in the ass, and you had no idea about it.
That's the thing I always do every session. I never plan anything. Like I have okay, this person wants to talk to me. This person wants to talk to me. I never plan anything.
Okay.
Like, here's the thing,
man.
I never plan out any of my sessions. I'm like, okay, this person wants to do this. This person wants to do this. If they come over to me and, whatever, I'll do that. If they don't, they don't. But every session, no plans.
Oh,
That's
there's
just
the
how
next person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn to grab that.
One of my things, and you hear this every once in a while, is sometimes people will be like, "Oh, it's so hard to find the RP," or "I don't know where to get myself into the RP." But the way I see it is, so long as you have a character direction and you're just taking your character in that direction, you'll naturally just come across other people's directions and their story weave, and just let those mingle. And you just find this really unique situations. Like, I love seeing the relationships between different like corp characters. We'll get to you in a second about that. Different corp and slummer characters, and just the way that they'll interact with each other. I mean, it just, oh my gosh, it leads to such a fun RP in my opinion.
I mean, like, what is it? I didn't expect, like, I was kind of like building up this whole time of when Conrad was gonna make his War on Row speech. I was thinking on that whole thing for like 2 seasons, ever since the start of the first season. I'm like, okay, so he's this thing called the bigger picture plan, right? And this is kind of a part of it. And so the fact that that was able to kind of finally strike off, because he got to know everyone from the row to the upper city, all the corps, and got them all listen to him. That kind of really sets things off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So something that you're just teasing at, I think. So, what's this about Jonathan being in a relationship? I like
Oh God.
Exploring your humanity.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So
Let's go.
this kind
I
of
ship it.
this kind of all started before Craver went and got himself killed. In season 2, I always joked about, I was like, Craver, I want a robot girlfriend. Craver, I want a robot girlfriend. Season 3, he actually somewhat made it happen. That he is like, all right, I'm gonna hook you up with Sydney, the synthetic and Avalon.
Let's go.
And
All right.
and I was down for it or whatever, but like after Craver died and everything, it's just like she's been wanting to go on a date or whatever, or like this, because it's like we don't know what a date is anyways. So it's like she wanted to fulfill like Craver's last request type of deal. It's like, and also when I told her that Craver died, it sort of awakened her sentience a little. So she wanted to talk to me about it. I kind of been saying, yeah, we'll talk later for 4 sessions.
Wow.
And then finally, last
Putting
session.
your Robo girlfriend on red. Oh, shaking my head.
Yeah, every time, every session, at the start of the session, I'll say, "I'll come back for you. We'll talk."
See,
Can
that's
we
what
pull
you need
up
to
the
do, right?
picture? Can we pull up the picture so that we give a little more context
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then last session, we got Jackal because he came up willingly, and I said, "I'm not dealing with this. I've been holding her off for too long. I'm gonna have these last 30 minutes with her."
No.
That's what you gotta do. That's what
handle
Zia did with Conrad at the last hour of the session. She's like, Conrad, we're going down getting drinks.
Yeah.
Then went whole thing from there. Oh, there's the picture.
So cute.
Yeah.
Is this a picture that Jaroslava took, or is this?
Yeah, that's the one
Yep.
that Jaroslava took. But also Phil took a few as well.
I love the memes that are popping up with the Phil like in the foreground and stuff in the background. So it's you guys, and he's just like checking in on my coworker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slice of life Robo date when? Question mark.
I
I'm
don't
ready
know.
for it.
I
Like
don't know,
I need that.
It's a little hard.
Want to make it a Trident show? I'll make it a Trident show.
We can try.
Oh my
It's
god,
just,
I get Gib on
do
this.
we have the approval of Avalon? Because we kind of like killed Avalon's.
Yo,
I'll talk to David for you. You'll be fine.
No. Here's the thing. Conrad and David are best friends.
Yep.
They talk on a personal level. We'll get that show done for you. Easy.
Yep. Remember when I said that I like pulling on the favors and pulling on the strings and calling in the favors? Hello, perfect favor to call. I love this.
Excuse me, David. Big favor. You gotta let your synth out to go date this other synth, please.
Please and thank you.
So on the
we'll
dating
have
note,
cameras. It'll be good.
on the dating note, one of the threads that we've seen is Sarah from Jeb is absolutely crushing on Luca, and the Valkyrie members have learned this.
Yeah.
But Luca's just way too dense because of the way he plays his character. Is very just focused on his goals and can't see anything else. So we've slowly been trying to push this thread and be like, all right, well, where can we get them on a date? And where can we get them? Where could we take them? What could we have them do? And so that's something that we've got planned. But we need more dates and comedy in this RP, in my opinion.
That's one funny thing that happened last episode with Conrad and Zia is that you would think that he's very like how should I say this dense on that part too, but you got to realize he's done acting, he's done all this kind of stuff. Like, he knows what's up. He knows the the motions of how things go. So it was hilarious when it happened.
The motions of the ocean?
The motions of the ocean.
Conrad is well versed in the motions of the ocean. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Can we get some canon on that, please?
Can we get that? Wait a second. Let me get this. Just nope, not that. Right here. Gonna make it canon. Got it.
I'm gonna type it in now. That's pretty conch, bro.
That's pretty
conch. It's going on Trident. It is real.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think honestly, all of Upper City really needs like a day off type of deal.
No, you guys
just gotta follow in Trident's lead and get a day off. Each corporation, each episode. So next episode, I think it's a time for Shimetsu to get day off.
Oh, we kind of are on a day off after that meeting.
There
After
you
that
go.
meeting, we were just like, "That's it, we're done."
Yeah.
Like we're gonna do what we did in season 2. We're gonna arm ourselves up, arm our mercenaries up. There's a war coming. We know it. So we're just gonna wait until the time comes.
Why do you
Speaking
think
of
we had our
war,
day off?
we do have the actual fight scene from when you were fighting those two Beowulfs. I will say I deeply respect anyone who does melee combat.
That was a
We do
struggle.
it every Tuesday and Thursday. It's fun.
The two of you have received. Never mind.
Just to let you know, Skull, I'm ready whenever you need me for later.
Kabir, you were severely wounded. Your motor functions are
Yep, we're keeping track of that.
The blades pierced through the metal.
Hard light versus hard light, man.
Yeah.
What a Chad
Beowulf
move.
fight.
Yeah, I was a little proud of screaming that out, honestly, because it's their energy, their shielding is straight up energy. Mine is hard light.
See, that's what I call battle bots.
No, Gundam, baby. That's what gets me going. Seeing
See,
these
we should have
awesome
recorded that
mechs
with
fighting.
Trident. It would have been a fantastic show.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
that was a whole 20 minutes of stalling, honestly, before that fight even happened. Because I tried to walk out of there. You know, I even agreed with like Fenris. I was like, yeah, I didn't see them. You guys didn't see me, type of deal. Because I wanted to get Monty, because Monty had died at that point. She bled out.
Bled out, yeah.
Because her spinal implant was pulled out.
Whew.
So I wanted to take her body back up to the upper city. And the Beowulf stopped me, and they basically said, like, since I saw them or whatever, and there was a little miscommunication or whatever, but it was basically at that time they said I couldn't leave there alive.
Yep.
Due to major flaw, I couldn't just I can't stand down. I have to go out with a fight. So I tried stalling as best as I could. After 10 minutes, I just turned on my comms. And I was letting in, like, kind of informing everyone of where I'm at. These two Beowulfs are trying to kill me, type of deal. And that's when Didas is like trying to send orders to send them back up or whatever, trying to backdoor into it. Phil is in the wasteland, and he's rushing his way to the Undercity to help assist me. But by that time, it's like the fight had already happened or whatever. And after the fight, I had severed one of their arms, and then the orders came in that they stopped, and they had to leave to the upper city for repairs or whatever, which is how they ended up back in our labs. And at that point, it was I had to be death rolled, repaired real quick before my bomb went off, and then death rolled, and survived that with the 9. And then I was completely shut off and taken back up to the upper city for repairs. That was a crazy time, because I knew I was ready to die that session, type of deal, because we were like thinking. A little note is that if Masaru was coming down to the Undercity, a lot of people were going to hide in the Grove. And Phil is very connected with the Grove. So since he is our leader, he has now made it as upon Shimetsu's because of what they did, it blew up the Grove in season 1. We are now honor bound to protect the Grove. So if Masaru was going to walk into the Grove and start trouble in there, we would have arrived with HTR.
Oh, that would have gone down so well.
Well.
Shimetsu and Masaru showing up with HTR, and the Undercity having no clue who to shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Actually, that's interesting, because if I recall, Zab, aren't you also, because we're both season 1 peeps, right?
Yes.
all the way till season 3. I think
Mhm.
you're season 2.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 as well.
Season 2, yeah, beginning of season
Yeah.
2.
So we
Season
got
2.
some vets here. We got some
Yep.
people that have been around for a minute.
Yeah.
That's cool.
A hot minute, yeah.
No. See,
So-
I've had nothing but great experiences in the Undercity, so I don't know what y'all are doing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Undercity.
My
Like,
last
not a-
character.
you know.
But yeah, so while we're on the topic of Undercity and corporations being down there and all that kind of stuff, last episode was very interesting. Musaru went down for peace talks.
Peace talks.
Peace talks.
There actually no one died. There wasn't even conflict from that.
Wow.
For
Progress.
once.
So, the plan was from the beginning of the session. The plan was to go down beginning of hour 3. Remy had set up a group of 8 PCs to come down, or 8 characters, and at about hour 2, I had talked to her about because the session prior, we had talked with some of the Undercity people about potentially hopefully smoothing this out, maybe making the Undercity District 33. So I spoke with her briefly. She said, if you have the time, if you can, and all that kind of stuff, you're free to come join us while we talk to the people of the Undercity. So I managed to get in on that. And so there was me, a bunch of Masaru people, Esperine, Anubis, Alice, who doesn't go by Alice. I can't remember what she goes by now.
Right now.
Yeah. Rayleigh and surprisingly Max. I wasn't expecting Max to be there.
And I know Nia was there for a little bit as well.
She was, yes.
Max was having his day off.
Yeah, I didn't know that in character.
I know.
So we got some Coven, we got some Dust.
Yeah, it was actually
Daughters,
pretty
right?
good representation for the
Yeah.
Undercity, I thought.
It was decent. But yeah, so as far as I could tell, especially with talks afterwards of how many people were actually there, I think over half of the people that were in the map at that point for an hour were either in the mayor's office or the council meeting room or watching one of the doors.
Yes. Can confirm. I was just sitting at the docks, just watching the docks, making sure that there wasn't a sneak attack that Masaru was planning or anything. Everyone had some entrance to the Undercity watched or the building watched. It was very intense, just waiting RP.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
so
y'all had that
surprised there
meeting.
wasn't a fight.
Oh yeah,
The bits and
So-
pieces I saw. Oh my god, the intensity of that whole
Yeah.
scene.
So
Yeah.
Everyone, just about everyone except me in character, especially, knew that if any violence broke out, someone was dying.
Yeah.
Almost certainly.
Oh yeah.
Any violence.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. But later, from someone's opinion, at the very least, I can't say how true this is, but I was told that I was the reason why it didn't go to shit, because I was the only person in that room that everyone trusted.
Hey, that works. I mean, that was your goal there, right? To
yes.
mediate, and that's what you did.
Yep.
Mediation.
Move forward on the plans to hack GU and get in his pocket. Hey, that's great to hear that you're a wonderful mediator. I'm so happy for you.
Such a good idea.
Man, such a great idea.
Yeah.
So we got just a little over 10 minutes left. This really flew by.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Seriously.
It's a little sad.
We do have plenty more clips. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, we got
That's a
this
good one.
funny one.
Yeah, okay. Let's have a quick look at the clip of you finding this ship.
Us actually trying to take it is a service.
Technically, it's not really against the law because
It's not
already
against. Yeah, there's no law except in the wastelands for you know that whole thing.
Well, we could try it. I suppose I'll give it a shot.
Give it a good.
This is our day off.
Second try.
Give it a college try. We're giving it the college try because it's funny.
The college.
What's the decking? Because haha funny.
Oh.
Basically.
4. Oh god. Alright. Well, Vice, do I have some fucking information for you? This ship's pre-designated path is for a traverse mid-city facility.
Oh.
God damn it.
What a character you stumbled upon the rudder ship, so
yeah, we're fucking stealing it.
Us actually trying to.
Funny story with that is the whole day it was basically going to be a bro day between Blaine and Conrad because it was his last day on planet, right? So we're thinking of that, and so we look at the ship because we're not wanting to go down the wasteland lift because there's a lot of bombs on it for some reason. I wouldn't know why, but it was funny because we saw it, and then I'm like, you know what? Let me use my major. Let me see the information on it. It's unmarked. You know, it's unowned and, you know, unlicensed. And I'm like, okay, that means, you know, it's no corp. You know, that means that we're good to steal it because, you know, we can, you know, steal a Slummer's ship. Why not?
Yeah, I like how you guys pause on that. Like, you're the corporations. Just, you are the law.
Well, here's the thing. Is like, that's what we think about in the end. But we're like, do we really want to go this far on it, right? You know, thinking from an out-of-character perspective. So I get a 15, and then he gets like a 21 on decking his ship. And so it's just...
And so to clarify, you didn't end up fully stealing it, but just ended up kind of riding along in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we set a detour for the Shadowrunners to go to the wasteland. And so they didn't know why there was a detour, but there was a detour and 2 people walked out. Whoops. And they went to their Shadowrun.
That's so funny.
Okay, one last clip before we start wrapping up. So we've got this, FaZe has been doing some wizardry, and we've got this new system in place where the drop ships, you can actually sit on them, you can actually ride on them as they're flown around and everything. You can actually be standing on them when they pause in midair. So on your way back up...
Yep. I'm glad I was able to make this happen. Yeah.
Brought Maya up along with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the Harpy, who I believe cannot fly up, can just kind of glide down. Got
Okay, Sophie, now's your time.
Okay. Bye, friend.
It was so cool seeing that from my perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, and like some of the people down, just looking up and seeing this very small speck floating down. Man, I love the systems that we've got in this RP.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, this is like 5 different things. We've got, you know, the admin gun spawning in this thing, driving it, people being able to ride on it, Maya having the ability to fly.
That was dangerous as hell. Why did you do that?
Maya want to fly.
It was cool, but it was dangerous.
Man, that's crazy. I really
Dropping your kids off at school.
I really love the magic.
Conrad POV.
Oh my... You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's wizards. They're all wizards.
Oh, 100%. And it's just like, you know, this was just a thing that just kind of got thrown together this last week. Like,
It's amazing how much that they have.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's so weird being on the staff team and hearing about these updates and things that Sign, FaZe, and all of them are working on. I'm like, you guys are actual wizards.
Yeah. I love all these new updates and everything that's coming in the future. Honestly, it's like makes it more immersive, and I love it. I just really love it. Honestly,
So much stuff planned.
It's easily like one of the coolest projects I've ever been a part of. This whole RP is just, honestly, it's so gosh dang cool. So I think we're gonna start wrapping up here, but before we do that, what are you guys' plans for the next few episodes? For the rest of the season moving forward. What about Lieutenant Jonathan's plans?
I have to question one of our synthetics loyalties now. Take a day off type of deal and actually take my robot girlfriend on a date.
Do it. Force them.
Yeah, try to
With consent.
With consent.
With consent. And I don't know. That's not much. More focus on my personal storyline now. That all the corporations hate us anyways, like they always do every season.
Hey. Trident thinks you're cool. Don't worry about it.
I love you guys out of character.
Yeah. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
Heck yeah! So what about Conrad's plans for the rest of the season? Again,
every episode.
Yeah,
I'm winging it.
Heck
every
yeah!
day I'm winging it.
I can't believe you don't plan things.
Never.
You're so weird to me. Like I couldn't.
I thought
you
you'd
absolute
be the one who
madman.
would actually plan a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, it works in this RP. There's so much to react to, so
yeah, it works for him so well.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So
it's been
what
loose for me really for the past while.
Yeah.
I just bounce off of other people. That's just all I do. I do yes and. That's my whole deal.
Heck yeah. So what about Nix's plans for the rest of the?
Oh gosh. Unlike Conrad, I have a lot of plans for Nyx. I'm gonna keep a lot of them secret just because they are nefarious and very antagonistic. But hopefully that should stir up some drama and get some storylines going. But I will say for the fun plans, I've already talked about the race. Something that we didn't get to was Valkyrie's presence in the Undercity.
Oh boy.
I'm going to be doing something with that tavern. I won't directly say what, but I have plans for it because I've showed up to that tavern twice now. Haven't gotten shot yet.
You've run it as well.
I've run it as well. I've had incapacitated Undercity dwellers in it while Valkyrie occupied it. Somehow we're not kicked out yet. So with that note, I'm just going to keep pushing the limit. So a lot of Valk entering insert map, Wasteland, Undercity, Row, and just trying to get stuff going. I like getting threads moving for other people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun seeing how people interact with the problems you create. I create a lot of problems.
And so what is Rhapsodia planning to do for the rest of the season?
The main thing probably is going to be hopefully helping the Undercity not get wrecked by Masaru over the next 3 days.
It
or
won't be by
after
Masaru.
that.
You luck.
Yeah, good
Good
luck
luck.
on that one.
Good luck.
I'm trying to do it with 2 characters now. I wish you luck.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck.
Man, sometimes it feels like they need me.
They do. They do.
Other than that, like there's, we're probably going to need to do something after the mayor's election. I believe that's next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you just have the debates. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're, especially if it isn't coach, we're probably going to need to talk to the new mayor at some point, relatively soon after.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's also in part sort of reacting to the shit that you guys decide to do.
We like to keep you busy.
Yes.
I mean, it's more or less worked with the exception of one episode. I think episode 7, I was the only person in 3 maps that barely had anything to do.
That was the stressful episode.
7 was a lot of chaos.
I knew shit was going down in the Undercity, so I couldn't go down there, even though my other guys were down there, because I didn't want to have to deal with that in character. I didn't have much reason to go down to the row. So I was just like sitting on my computer, like racking my brain to see what I might be able to possibly do, be it at my computer or elsewhere. Yeah.
Rhapsodia's date off, you know?
Yep. You need a Rhapsody to stay off.
Yeah.
Enter a race. Yeah.
I'm happy to butt in here. Brain. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry to butt in here. Not happy. Sorry. But we have a Patreon question.
Oh. Okay.
Coming in from Schmoodle, more or less last minute, and the question is: who would be more willing to create a flight gun for use in chemical warfare, Shometsu or Valkyrie? Who do I have to talk to?
Trident, apparently.
I would actually say
It's
Trident.
not wrong.
Yeah, they're very much about the chemical warfare. Other than that, purely answering the question, I would say Valkyrie, just because one of our necessities in order to keep up with these highly advanced technological fucks is finding literally anything that can give us an edge, whether it be larger bullets, chemicals, grenades, things like that. But I'd say Trident. That's my option.
We already
3.
did it once, and we haven't been found out for it yet, so we'll see how that goes.
Good. Poison the drinks.
Oh,
Good question.
That did happen, didn't that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we fully wrap up and say goodbye, we do have the wheel of.
The Wheel of Raid, yes.
Yeah.
It should be on screen right now. And as always, we are going to rate one of our community members of the Neon Divide community and cast. With everybody who has been watching today, before we do that though, big shout outs and thank you to everybody who was here today and made this podcast possible. Big shout outs to Skiz for continuously hosting these last few episodes and helping a lot with the podcast. And big thank you to Soma, Quackers, TheStaven and Zabson for popping in today. But it is time to spin. And let us see who we are going to raid. And the person we're going to rate is Shanrock. Yes, okay. And with that, a few more things that I have to say. First of all, everybody, thank you for watching Neon Divide SlummerTV episode number 6, this time live from the Trident Gala floor. A few more things to say. This RP would not be possible without the help and support of our Patreons, so if you haven't yet, please check out our Patreon. This project is completely Unity. My brain today. I'm sorry, guys. Is completely community funded. There we go. And every bit helps. Additionally, we also have a merch store at store.neondivided.com. We are currently preparing a second big drop, so keep an eye on that. Watch out for that. And
wait.
Yes, the merch is
so good.
It's going
Having
to be
the sneak peeks.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I've seen the designs so far and they are just absolutely insanely good. Anyways, I'm going to start off the raid here now. Thank you everybody for watching and keep an eye on the Discord for the date of SlummerTV episode number 7. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
See you Friday.
And stay tuned for next time.
And the raid broke. 1 second. Stay tuned. Something is wrong here.
Stay tuned to the next Trident podcast.
This is not Trident affiliated. This is SlummerTV. What are you talking about?
We're finishing the job, Conrad.
Panic. Yes, panic indeed. Why the hell is it not working?
Oh wait, hold up. I need to react to that.
Yes.
Already survived one headshot.
Quick. I'm taking us all out.
Okay, here we go. The raid is launching, everybody. Give Shanrock lots of love. And second attempt, we are going to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh boy. Yeah, so